a potential hitch over who is ultimately allowed to return.
The truth is that the number of Albanians in Kosovo was never greater than 800,000.
Meanwhile, NATO jets continue to pound Yugoslav targets, these along the road between Belgrade and Kosovo. And a categorical denial from the Yugoslavs about using refugees as human shields.
There are no single evidence that any civilian have been used as a human shield. None whatsoever.
Whether a negotiated end to the fighting is within sight is still open to conjecture. Still, the Yugoslavs are now claiming a huge moral victory, having withstood 8 weeks of NATO bombing. Walter Rogers, CNN, Belgrade.
Pese al mal tiempo, los aviones de la OTAN volvieron a bombardear el martes objetivos yugoslavos. Blancos fueron Niš, Novi Sad y Vranje. El puente de la autopista entre Niš y Belgrado fue inutilizado y con ello quedó destruida la más importante vía entre el sur y centro de Europa. El portavoz civil de la alianza, Jamie Shea, advirtió que junto a los esfuerzos diplomáticos los ataques proseguirán. Shea saludó la última propuesta de paz italiana, pero descartó una tregua unilateral tal como proponía Roma. Proseguiremos las operaciones militares hasta que Milosevic cumpla las 5 exigencias de la comunidad internacional. No le daremos la oportunidad de que evite esa responsabilidad. No dejaremos que rearme sus tropas. Shea anunció que la OTAN enviará en los próximos días 17 cazabombarderos a Italia y otros 72 a Turquía a fin de mes. Tras el encuentro con el secretario de la OTAN, el moderado líder albano-kosovar Ibrahim Rugova abogó por una línea dura frente a Milosevic y rechazó suspender los bombardeos.
Viktor Chernomyrdin and the American Deputy of State, Strobe Talbot, have held talks with the European Union's new mediator, the Finnish President Martti Ahtisaari, in Helsinki. Mr. Chernomyrdin is due to travel to Belgrade for further talks on Wednesday. The British Foreign Secretary Robin Cook said that on 80 occasions, Serb forces had used Kosovo Albanians as human shields.
Each day, the destruction piles up. This NATO attack damaged both the motorway and the main railway line running south through Yugoslavia. Now Belgrade says thousands of civilians have died in the bombing. Despite the physical evidence of damage, the figure is impossible to verify. The mere fact that it's being used may be another hint that Yugoslavia is ready for some serious talking. Certainly the Russian envoy Viktor Chernomyrdin was in an optimistic mood when he arrived in Finland. We're here to get a complete solution, he said, and he announced he'd go to Belgrade tomorrow. The trouble is there are now almost too many people involved in the search for a solution. In Finland alone, the Russians met the Americans with the Finnish president as some kind of intermediary between the intermediaries. And that's before serious talks have even started with the Serbs. The Italian and German leaders have also been meeting in Italy. They repeated calls for a new resolution at the United Nations to help end the crisis. And the German Chancellor reiterated his opposition to starting a land offensive. The use of ground troops is out of the question, he said. That's always been the German position. One hint of compromise from the Americans: they've sent home 2 Serb prisoners of war captured by the Kosovo Liberation Army. But on a visit to Albania, the British Prime Minister Tony Blair reassured refugees that NATO was fighting to allow them to go home as well.
These people have been driven from their homes and their homeland. Our mission is very simple and very clear. It is to make sure that they return to their homes and their homeland, to be able to live in peace and security, as should be the right of any civilized human being in our world.
In Serbia itself, a UN team has been continuing its assessment of the humanitarian situation. They're looking at how to relieve any urgent needs, but also beginning to think how to reassemble this country when the conflict is finally over. John Lyne, BBC News.
5,000, more than double the previous estimate. David Sheffer, who works as an ambassador on war crimes issues, spoke of a Yugoslav government-planned campaign to eliminate the ethnic Albanian community.
Albanian border troops guided me through a network of their crumbling bunkers to a vantage point from where we could look down into Kosovo. Below us, the town of Jakovica, many of whose citizens are said to have been slaughtered by the Serbs. It is a place of terrifying stillness and silence, where nothing moves on the roads, where no one works in the fields, where Serbian soldiers were the only human beings we could see. Living in one of the refugee camps in northern Albania, there is an undertaker who told me he knows where some of the dead of Jakovica are buried, because he dug their graves himself on the orders of the Serbs. He doesn't want to be identified, but he claims he buried about 100 people in all, and he's kept a list of them. A 13-year-old boy shot on a tractor in the arms of his mother. A man stabbed with a knife through his neck. Another shot in the bathroom while he was shaving.
The bodies came in bags, but I opened every one to see how they had been shot or stabbed to death. I wasn't alone. There were 3 other gravediggers with me, but it was very difficult for me. I wanted to get out.
What you notice most of all in these camps is not so much the people who are here as those who are not. There is a great absence of menfolk, the people who have either disappeared or died inside Kosovo. Because it is mostly men who are missing, babies are being born without their fathers, women are giving birth without their husbands. Savete Alesi has just had the baby she yearned for, but she says the Serbs have taken away her husband, and amid the joy of childbirth there is despair.
We have been married for 4 years, and until now we had no child. It was always my dream to have a baby. My husband would be very happy now if he knew. He was really keen to have a baby.
In the next bed, Mareta Krasnici waits to give birth. Her husband too had been imprisoned by the Serbs. She has no idea if he's dead or alive. All she knows is that she will call her baby Spatim, which means the one who is saved. Ben Brown, BBC News, Northern Albania.
The English research...
Sono udite alla periferia di Belgrado, centrati dalla NATO, l'aeroporto civile di Surcin e quello militare di Batajnica, colpita la cittadina di Sabac a nord-ovest della capitale. Una donna sarebbe morta e altre 12 persone ferite nel raid contro Valjevo, Serbia centrale. Bombardamenti nel pomeriggio anche sul Kosovo, fra Pristina e Prizren, e si registrano anche duri scontri fra serbi e albanesi dopo l'arrivo dei carri armati a Letaj al confine fra Albania e Kosovo. È la prima volta dall'inizio del conflitto che le 2 artiglierie incrociano il fuoco. Popolazione sotto tiro dei cecchini serbi che controllano la Collina Nera. E Belgrado avverte, se la NATO interverrà con le truppe di terra dovrà contare i morti, ma su questo punto la Gran Bretagna precisa, non siamo i soli a volere l'intervento di terra. Una risposta chiara, quella del ministro della difesa Robertson alle perplessità del tedesco Schröder, ma a frenare sono anche Francia e Canada, mentre Tony Blair da Tirana ripete vinceremo e mantiene il riservo sui colloqui con alcuni esponenti dell'UCK. Ancora drammatica la situazione dei profughi. L'Alto Commissariato dell'ONU per i rifugiati tira le somme. Sarebbero circa 1 milione gli albanesi cacciati dal Kosovo, mentre almeno 230.000 persone starebbero vagando ancora nella regione senza una meta. E oggi la NATO ha consegnato al Parlamento europeo la mappa delle fosse comuni nel Kosovo, localizzate attraverso i racconti dei sopravvissuti.
Proseguiamo il discorso che abbiamo avviato nella parte finale di quest'ultimo.
Vengono da Drenica, terra di guerriglia, da Ferisaj, dalle campagne di Uroševac. C'è chi è al 4º tentativo di passare la frontiera.
Ieri vi abbiamo raccontato di un treno arrivato a poche centinaia di metri dal confine e poi fatto tornare indietro dalla polizia serba con tutti i suoi passeggeri. Stessa ora, stesso scenario, il posto di confine di Blase, ma questa volta la storia è diversa.
I serbi li lasciano passare in blocco, arbitrio e ricatto al tempo stesso. Sono almeno 600, più tardi arriverà un autobus con un altro centinaio di persone. Tra i nuovi arrivati molti erano già sul treno di ieri. raccontano di aver passato la notte all'addiaccio aspettando di risalire sui vagoni. Qualcuno dice di essere stato picchiato sul treno, altri raccontano di case bruciate dai serbi, di fughe nei boschi, ma se si riferiscano alle ultime ore o a settimane fa è arduo da stabilire. Il fatto è che dal Kosovo migliaia di persone ogni giorno continuano a scappare. Tra i motivi che li spingono, oltre alla paura, sicuramente anche la fame. Nessuno coltiva più campagne ed orti, le scorte alimentari sono quasi a zero, un po' di pasta e un po' di farina per il pane che ci si arrangia a fare in casa, tanto che alla frontiera si vede passare in senso inverso qualche anziano, fatalista al punto da affrontare un viaggio pericoloso per tornare indietro in Kosovo con un po' di provviste per la famiglia.
La prima nascita, il ritorno...
150 grammi, è nato oggi alle 9:30. Appena un'ora prima la madre era stata accompagnata con un'ambulanza in ospedale. Flora, 19 anni, ci racconta di averlo concepito a Frizaj, nel Kosovo, quando non poteva immaginare quello che sarebbe successo. Poi il precipitare della situazione, la fuga verso il campo di Stenkovac, durissimo per tutti, figurarsi per una donna incinta all'8° mese di gravidanza. Quindi l'arrivo a Comiso, il riposo in un letto normale e il lieto evento. Il padre Afrem, di 23 anni, non ha ancora deciso come chiamare il bimbo, il primo nato nella comunità di questi 2085 profughi, fuggiti alla ricerca di una vita normale. Come gli oltre 800 tra bambini e ragazzi che oggi hanno ripreso le lezioni. Aspettavano i banchi e le sedie, non sono arrivati, ma il primo giorno di scuola non hanno voluto rinviarlo. Oltre 200 suddivisi in 8 classi, sono tornati all'aritmetica e alla grammatica, come hanno potuto, con pochi quaderni e qualche libro, ma con tanta voglia di ricominciare, da dove la polizia etnica e le bombe hanno fermato il loro tempo e la loro vita. Non solo nozioni e programmi, ma tante testimonianze, spesso dolorose, dei drammi vissuti. La memoria, la cultura e i libri, come ha detto il sindaco del campo di Comiso, Imer Berbati, sono le armi che mai saranno deposte in questa battaglia per la civiltà.
Sich der Westen weiter auf die Doppelstrategie, politischer und militärischer Druck. Doch die Anzeichen für eine baldige Unterbrechung der Bombardierungen mehren sich. NATO-Generalsekretär Solana schließt eine Feuerpause nicht mehr aus, wenn es Anzeichen für einen serbischen Truppenabzug auf...
Bild auf dem Flughafen in Piacenza. Kein Tornado, sondern die Maschine des Kanzlers rollt über die Landebahn. Schröder auf Truppenbesuch. Unter Ausschluss der Öffentlichkeit spricht er mit den Soldaten, informiert sich über die militärische Lage. In Piacenza sind rund 460 deutsche Soldaten stationiert. 14 Bundeswehrmaschinen starten von hier zu Angriffen und Aufklärungsflügen. Schröder äußert sich zufrieden über den Erfolg der Luftangriffe, schließt eine befristete Einstellung aber nicht mehr aus. Wenn Milosevic einlenke, könne man über eine Feuerpause nachdenken. Doch vom Einlenken sind die Serben entgegen allen Beteuerungen offenbar noch immer weit entfernt. Flüchtlinge berichten, die serbischen Truppen verschanzten sich mehr und mehr in den Dörfern, versteckten Panzer und Waffen in Bauernhöfen. Und auch die Meldungen über Massaker reißen nicht ab. Ein Lichtblick in diesem Flüchtlingslager in Tetovo. Dieses Baby wurde vor einem Monat geboren. Geboren, um frei zu sein, das ist die Übersetzung seines Namens. Seine Eltern gaben ihm diesen Namen als Symbol der Hoffnung. Hoffnung für Tausende von Kosovo-Albanern.
Toni, Toni, rufen ihm die Flüchtlinge zu. Schon mehrere Male hat der britische Premier sie in ihren Lagern besucht. Das sind Momente für ihn, in denen er sich bestätigt fühlen kann in seinem Kurs, der da heißt, kein Einlenken, nein, nicht mal eine Feuerpause für Milosevic. Die Briten wollen Bodentruppen in den Kosovo schicken, und zwar so schnell wie möglich, nicht erst, wenn die jugoslawische Armee abgezogen ist. Tony Blair stößt mit dieser Position nicht nur bei seinen europäischen NATO-Partnern auf Widerstand, sondern auch bei den Amerikanern, die kein Soldatenleben riskieren wollen zum Schutz der Flüchtlinge. Weder das versehentliche Bombardement der chinesischen Botschaft in Belgrad noch der durch NATO-Bomben verschuldete Tod von Flüchtlingen haben auf britischer Seite Zweifel über den Sinn der Luftangriffe aufkommen lassen. Im Golfkrieg waren die Briten die einzigen, die an der Seite der Amerikaner kämpften. Seit seinem Amtsantritt vor gut 2 Jahren hat sich Tony Blair wiederholt als äußerst entschlossen in Kriegsfragen gezeigt und somit den Ruf erworben, mit seinen guten Beziehungen nach Washington als eine Art Vermittler zwischen den Amerikanern und den Europäern fungieren zu können. Diesmal ist es anders. Mit seiner harten Haltung gegenüber jeglicher Form der Friedensdiplomatie droht der Brite mehr und mehr in die Isolation zu geraten.
Hitler Viktor Černomyrdin in Belgrad erwartet, dann wird man wissen, was von den Kompromisssignalen aus der jugoslawischen Hauptstadt zu halten ist. Und ob diesem Mann das Geschäft verdorben wird, er verkauft Postkarten von den zerstörten Gebäuden und Brücken im Land.
Based on their ministers' recent meeting. Overnight, poor weather caused NATO to abandon most of its bombing raids. The alliance flew 425 sorties, only 58 were strike missions.
Serb TV showed pictures of damage it said was caused by NATO bombing during the day. Overnight, it said an empty fuel depot in Belgrade, a motorway and the town of Prizren in Kosovo were hit. News of anti-Milosevic demonstrations didn't make the bulletin. Though independent media have reported a protest in Kruševac attracting 1,500 people, a rally in Kachak criticising not only NATO but also President Milosevic's tactics, and in Alexandrovac, mothers of soldiers demanding peace. Such pressure, but chiefly NATO's bombing, may account for indications from a senior official of the Serb government that Belgrade was ready to do a deal, but he gave no details. Efforts by the international community to end the conflict continue this morning in Helsinki. The American Deputy Secretary of State and the Russian envoy to the Balkans, Viktor Chernomyrdin, talked for 7 hours yesterday, despite their differences. Russia, Serbia's friend and ally, wants NATO to stop the air attacks, but the alliance insists on Serb forces leaving Kosovo first. Mr. Chernomyrdin visits Belgrade and President Milosevic this afternoon, but it's not known yet what the message will be. The United Nations mission to inspect humanitarian needs across Serbia reaches the Kosovan capital Pristina today. BBC cameras filming in early April found it eerily quiet. Later, the UN team go to Niš, which has taken heavy NATO bombing too. Jane Bennett-Powell, BBC News.
Of their terror and misery and shock. Yugoslav police had forced them out from village after village. Some were beaten, others saw their menfolk taken away.
They stopped us at police checkpoints. A lot of men were taken away. Here on this bus there are families that don't know where their parents, husbands and menfolk are.
They took my father away, and I don't know what has happened to him. I don't know if he's been released or is still being held somewhere.
It took a fleet of buses to carry away all those pushed over the border after darkness fell. Kosovo is being cleared village by village, a nation being driven out. It seems as if the forced emptying of Kosovo will literally never end. The latest group to cross the border in fear for their lives were driven out just hours ago in a long, weary column. They say there are many, many more on their way. The exodus from Kosovo continues around the clock. If NATO is winning the air war, as it claims, there is certainly no sense of it here. Orla Guerin, BBC News, at the Macedonian border.
Eine Kleinstadt rund 80 Kilometer südlich Tiranas. Hier gibt es nicht viel, das man teilen könnte. Und auch Hilfsgüter verirren sich nur selten in die Provinz. Dabei sollen allein in Luschnir 4.000 bis 5.000 Kosovo-Albaner beherbergt werden. So genau weiß das keiner. Anders in den Flüchtlingslagern. Jeder einzelne Kosovo-Albaner wird hier registriert. Seine Grundversorgung ist durch Hilfsorganisationen gesichert. Deshalb verlassen viele privat untergekommene Flüchtlinge wieder ihre Gastfamilien und suchen Zuflucht in den Lagern. Viele albanische Familien haben sich in ihrer Großzügigkeit übernommen, haben 15, 20 Menschen bei sich aufgenommen, auch wenn sie es sich eigentlich nicht leisten können, so viele Personen über mehrere Wochen zu bewirten. Haben die Sefas aus Luschnir und die Morinas aus Pristina auch diese Sorgen? Nein, sagt der Hausherr, er könne seine 15 Gäste aus dem Kosovo noch mehrere Monate bei sich wohnen lassen. Wenn es sein müsse, auch noch ein ganzes Jahr.
In Albanien? Der Ohridsee im Osten Albaniens, unmittelbar an der Grenze zu Mazedonien. Bis vor gut 7 Jahren glaubte Albanien, sich waffenstarrend nach allen Seiten verteidigen zu müssen. Heute könnte dieses Land Ziel europäischer Touristen sein, wenn es Geld für den Aufbau einer Infrastruktur geben würde. Alles, was früher Exportgüter erzeugt hat, alles, was Devisen erwirtschaftet hat, ist längst tot. Die einst größten Stahlwerke des Landes, von China erbaut, sind zerfallen. Veraltete Technologie konnte dem Wettbewerb nicht mehr standhalten. Größter Arbeitgeber in Tirana war das Textilkombinat Josef Stalin. Webstühle, einst für wertvolle Devisen aus Belgien eingeführt, sind zerstört oder verkauft worden. Durch die morschen Decken tropft das Regenwasser. Die riesigen Hallen dienen den Kindern der Hauptstadt als Abenteuerspielplatz. Inzwischen sind selbst die Dachziegel abgetragen worden. Funktionsfähig sind in Albanien alleine die wenigen Fabriken ausländischer Firmen. Amerikanische Brause, schon unmittelbar nach dem Ende des Kommunismus zum Modegetränk geworden, wird auch im ärmsten Land Europas gebraut. Trotz der geringeren Kosten werden potenzielle ausländische Investoren unter anderem auch durch die schlechte Verkehrsinfrastruktur abgeschreckt. Die Fahrt mit der Eisenbahn von Tirana in die nur 150 Kilometer entfernte Hafenstadt Flore ist beinahe eine Tagesreise. Die Straßen sind zum Teil aufgerissen, auf Fernstrecken kann man kaum mit Durchschnittsgeschwindigkeiten von mehr als 40 Stundenkilometer rechnen, zu tief sind die Schlaglöcher. Was wir uns wünschen und was wir hoffen, nach allem, was jetzt im Kosovo passiert ist, dass die EU und Deutschland etwas Ähnliches wie einen Marshallplan für den Balkan machen werden. Wir denken, dass Europa für den Balkan das tun sollte, was die USA nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg für Europa getan haben. Dadurch würde eine ganz neue Atmosphäre mit hohen demokratischen Werten geschaffen werden und die gegenseitige Verständigung würde gefördert werden. Entstehende Nachteile wären gering und zu vernachlässigen. Im Moment wird Albanien durch den unübersehbaren Strom der Kosovo-Flüchtlinge völlig ausgezehrt. Durch diese Flüchtlinge aber, so hofft die Regierung in Tirana, könnte der entscheidende Anstoß zu langfristiger Hilfe durch die EU und andere Staaten gegeben werden.
Es ist noch nicht des Krieges im Kosovo, trotz der Flüchtlinge im Land, leere Plätze im albanischen Parlament. Die Abgeordneten der größten oppositionellen Fraktion, der Demokratischen Partei, boykottieren die Sitzungen seit 1997, das Jahr, in dem ihr Vorsitzender Sali Berisha sein Präsidentenamt verlor. Oppositionsarbeit ist seine Sache nicht.
Our proposals were to be considered.
Unsere Anträge, die wir ausgearbeitet haben, sie wurden alle abgelehnt. Das ist der Grund, warum wir andere Wege nutzen. Aber das Parlament ist... Bis vor 2 Monaten in Tirana ein tagtägliches Schauspiel. Berisha wettert mal gegen die Regierung, mal ruft er die Albaner auf, in den Kosovo einzumarschieren. Erst seit Beginn der NATO-Offensive schränkt er seine Auftritte ein. Offenbar aus Angst, sich dem Ausland gegenüber vollends ins Abseits zu manövrieren. Denn das Ausland zeigt zurzeit großes Interesse an Albanien. Hochrangige Politiker geben sich in Tirana die Klinke in die Hand. Begrüßt werden sie vom jungen Ministerpräsidenten Pandeli Majko, mit 31 Jahren der jüngste Europas. Im Gegensatz zu Berisha ist Majko ein Mann leiser Töne. Den Medien gegenüber zurückhaltend, seit Wochen gibt er keine Interviews mehr. Das albanische Fernsehen zeigt Majko bei Kosovo-Vertriebenen. Mit der Flüchtlingswelle ist die Einwohnerzahl um 15% gestiegen. Eine enorme Belastung für die Wirtschaft Albaniens, erstaunlicherweise aber nicht für die Innenpolitik. Die albanische Regierung bewältigt die Krisensituation bislang mit Bravour. Dafür winkt vielleicht die Mitgliedschaft in der NATO und in der Europäischen Union. Eine Zukunftsvision, die in diesen Tagen realistischer scheint als jemals zuvor. Diejenigen Abgeordneten, die die Parlamentssitzungen jetzt noch schwänzen, werden dann sicher dabei sein wollen.
Fearful for Europe to go it alone. Could the Europeans put together the necessary force? And is it time for Europe to stand up and be counted? It's your call. Let's hear what you think. Get in touch either by emailing us at yourcall@sky.co.uk or give us a ring direct on 0171 757 7070. That's 0171 757 7070 on whether you think Europe could feasibly go it alone. Don't forget, if you're calling from outside the UK, the country code 0044. Today my guest, Duncan Bullivant, who has some years of experience in the Balkans as an advisor to the UN and to the OSCE, the Organisation of Security and Cooperation in Europe. Now, Duncan, you're not a military expert, but you do know a lot about the logistics that would be required for a campaign, and also specifically about the European strength in terms of armaments and the will in European capitals, NATO allies, to go ahead and perhaps invade Kosovo without the Americans. Do you think that would be feasible?
In terms of can enough troops and equipment be massed together for a successful land operation in Kosovo, then the answer is yes. Is it achievable in terms of European consensus, and is it achievable in terms of the common foreign and security policy? Then the answer at the moment is probably no.
Why do you say that? You don't think that the various European members of NATO have sufficient common cause to go ahead?
At the moment, the common cause within Europe is manifested in NATO. The political decision required to launch a military campaign, an opposed military campaign, because don't forget, everybody at the moment is signed up to putting in a peacekeeping force in a permissive environment. But to launch a campaign in an imposed environment would require a decision made by the North Atlantic Council, the NAC. Now, if there is sufficient will within Europe to launch a land campaign, but the United States of America wishes not to take part in that, you'd be looking at a split within NATO. And yes, other means would have to be found to put troops in. But
you want to contribute to this debate or ask any questions of Duncan Bullivant? Spent many years in the Balkans, knows the area extremely well. Number up there on the top right, 44 is the code if you're calling from outside the UK, then 0171 757 7070. Let's have our first caller, and it's Steve on the line from Denbigh in Wales. Steve, good morning.
Good morning. I listened to what Duncan said, you know, and like everybody, we take on board the professionals and the expertise of these people, but I just have to comment mainly to him more than anybody else because he knows the Balkans so well. A comment was made yesterday by a politician about refugee fatigue, and I'd like to dispute that. I'd like to turn around and say to these people, it's not refugee fatigue, it's frustration. We're seeing the bombing that was supposed to relieve the plight of the Kosovonian refugees, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. And yet we're having all this wrangling and messing about from each individual NATO country whenever or not to go in with a ground force, when really I can't see what else we can do. We cannot. Okay, the Americans don't want to go in. Maybe they can be logistically in support, and it's got to be a European decisive action. But what is it we can do for these people? For God's sakes, you know, Belgrade is lying through the teeth. China's got the blink